Okay, welcome back. So the market's actually up about, 2 points now. So 11,725. So there is a bit of a surge which is developing as we speak. The Bank Nifty, I think, is also up about 0.25%. That is also not quite at the high point of the day, but is starting to pick up as we speak as well. So we'll come back to some of this in a bit in terms of stocks and what is actually moving things around. As we count down to the budget, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday discussed key issues facing the economy and suggestions to meet the challenges. I mean, he did this with top 40 economists of the country. We have with us Soumyakanti Ghosh, Group Chief Economic Advisor at State Bank of India, who was at that meeting, and he's joining us right now on the phone line to tell us about that meeting. Dr. Ghosh, thanks very much for your time, sir. Appreciate it. Could you tell us the broad outline of, how the meeting went, what were the top issues which were discussed, and any conclusions drawn?
No, I think it was it was a meeting on the economy, and as the press release says, basically it encompassed the economy, the employment, the health, the education, the exports, and also there were interaction with the industrialists. So it was basically on how to currently see the growth bounces back and what could be the policy options in the face of global uncertainties, what could be done on employment, what could be done on exports, and also the fact that the health and education are two of the most important priorities. And of course, the agricultural sector, what are the immediate priorities? So there was a very healthy discussion, and a lot of the suggestions were put on the table. So let's see how these things move forward.
Dr. Ghosh, did you get a sense and others get a sense that the Prime Minister and others from the government believe that there is a serious growth issue, or you did not get that sense?
No, I think it's difficult to say, but of course the challenges to growth have been discussed, and this has been discussed also earlier. So what has been happening on the growth, specifically the global uncertainties, how that could impact our exports and growth, and also the numbers, growth numbers, the NBFC sector. So I think all these were a part of the discussion. So that will give a broad idea of what's exactly happening currently.
Okay, Mr. Ghosh, do you expect maybe a big agrarian push in the coming budget?
See, agrarian sector, there could be some couple of changes. I think it could be an work in continuation what has happened last time. There could be some development basically on on modalities of the Prime Minister Kisan scheme, whether that is now being enlarged with the fiscal cost. So these things, other from these, there could be, obviously the government has outlined its vision in terms of ramping up the rural infrastructure. There could be also some discussion on the the markets and opening up. So all these are part of the discussion, and of course a larger point of the discussion will also be the water resources, because water is going to be a big issue in the next 4 to 5 years, given that there has been a significant depletion in water reserves.
Okay. Mr. Ghosh, that point is taken, but everyone's woken up to the news that Dr. Viral Acharya has now tendered his resignation as the Deputy Governor of the RBI. Are you of the camp that the RBI's MPC is probably going to turn a little more dovish simply because of this?
It could be a combination of both factors. Yes, that is possible, but it is also a fact that inflation is consistently surprising on the downside, and from that point of view, even if the event were not to happen, I think the markets are already priced in a dovish stance from the central bank.
Okay. What is your sense then in terms of further rate cuts from the RBI? August policy, do you expect maybe another 25 basis points?
Yeah, I think August policy markets, and of course we also are factoring in another rate cut in August. And beyond August also, we believe there are possibility of rate cuts, because as of now the inflation numbers, and if you actually currently the repo rate is at 5.75, even if you have one more rate cut, that takes it to 5.5. And given the fact that RBI is now flexible on the real interest rate, so given the fact that the inflation average for the full year could be between 3.5 to 4%, so there will be space for more rate cuts even after August in terms of the real rate conundrum.
Got it. Dr. Ghosh, appreciate you joining us. Thanks very much for taking our call and telling us a little bit about what happened in that meeting, and of course your views on a few other topics as well. The markets up actually now flat, is down about 3.5 odd points. Let's quickly wrap this out with some futures and options trading strategies. Rahul Shah of Motilal Oswal is with us with exactly that. Rahul, good morning. What would you do?
Hi, good morning. I think very choppy markets today, and I think we've been seeing very lackluster and a very dull day today. So two long ideas and one short idea in such markets. So one being Voltas, we've seen the stock going in a technical perspective with a very good structure, good longs built up, and I think look closer to its 52-week high as well. So I would advise going long on Voltas with a stop loss of 608 and target of 650. Second long being Coal India, we saw some kind of unwinding happening on the Friday, but I think this technical structure looks very positive on Coal India. So with a small stop loss of 253, I would advise to go long on Coal India with a target of 265. And short idea being an IndusInd Bank. We've seen IndusInd Bank with a good smart recovery from the low of 1349 to again the 1450 or odd levels on last couple of days. But I think the structure still looks weak. So I think after the short squeeze, I think it's again a chance to go short, build a short again on the stock. So with a stop loss of 1470 and target of 1410, I would advise going IndusInd Bank short.
Okay, all right. We're going to leave it on that note, Rahul. Thanks very much for joining in. Well, we have some important exclusive information coming in where the Jaland panel recommendation or on economic capital framework, the last meeting is today. Remember that the outcome of it was probably expected by June end itself. Finance Secretary is likely to dissent on the Jaland panel recommendations on ECF. We do have Sapna joining in with all of the exclusive details. Sapna, over to you.
Hi. So basically, this this entire matter in terms of the views of all the panel, this has been in the public domain for some time now, and earlier also we were able to understand that some difference of opinion is there. Now, most likely, as the last meeting of the panel, as of now, this is what the understanding is, that for probably the June 24 meeting, which is underway at the moment, this could be the last meeting of the panel. So, once you are finalizing the recommendations, and the process always has been that it goes to the RBI board has to take a call on that. So, it may be possible that, any kind of a dissent or difference of opinion will get included in the recommendation/report as a dissent note. And you're given to understand that, the dissent note will be coming from none other than the Finance Secretary. Now, the matter on which the dissent note is coming, one can speculate on that. I think probably we should not be getting into those kind of details at the moment till something really firms up. The second point also that I've been told, but this is something that I've not really gone ahead and put out, is that probably this could be a draft report. Now, if that's a draft report, then there's a bit of a question mark as to what the process forward will be. But, let us just say safely that the last meeting of the panel underway, likely today, and definitely the dissent note from the Finance Secretary is going to find a mention in that report for today.
Sapna, but the crucial bit, as you said, is what exactly is the Finance Secretary going to dissent on, right? That is... but what you're hearing is that there will be a dissent note, most likely from the Finance Secretary, but the details we don't know yet, right? Just to be clear.
Yeah, I think it's better that we await some further detail on that.
Yeah.
I think that would be better.
Fair enough, no problem. Sapna, thanks very much, and Sapna will be back when she has the details, and but that is an important story. Probably the last meeting underway right now. A dissent note likely from the Finance Secretary, and Sapna is also saying that this perhaps could be a draft report which could be sent over to the RBI. It's a wrap here on this edition of Trading Hour. The market is as flat as they come, absolutely unchanged. Stay tuned, halftime report comes up in just a bit.